We're back, and the gang's all here. Sphinx City is a modern and magical metropolis where the BBG is capitalism. Greedy CEOs, corrupt officials, and evil corporations beware because our heroes are on the case. The dwarven chef fighter who married into the mob, Belkor the Butcher Ironbelly, played by Dale Daniels Jr. The goblin monk artificer with a robotic dog that turns into a rocket-powered skateboard, Jaster Fixadet, played by Taylor Hellstrom. The Goliath sorcerer, former assassin and father that's been called out of retirement, John the Painter Smith, played by Daniel Hargrove. The kobold college dropout, alchemist, and street seller of pharmaceuticals, Tint, the TNT, played by Malia Deza. And the dungeon master is none other than Justin Galliani. The 1% may have money, resources, and influence, but they're about to get 99% of their asses kicked. So get the f*** on the subway and let's get started, baby. Hey gang, and welcome back to another episode of Sphinx City Season 2. I'm Justin, I'll be your dungeon master for the rest of this series, and I'm joined today with some incredible players. I use they, them pronouns. They'll tell you their own pronouns as we go around and do some introductions, starting off with Dale, because I like things alphabetical.
Much easier, you know? Hi, I'm Dale. I play Belkor Belkor the Butcher Ironbelly, a chef part of the Silver Scales Mafia, who is always eager to sharpen his blades with a nice charcuterie, if you will.
All right, I guess that's me next. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, also known as Daniel the DM, across all corners of the internet, and I use he, him pronouns, and so does my character, John Smith, ice cream parlor owner, former ice cream parlor owner that is now exploded, and has a lot of red in his ledger with a very, very mysterious past, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you.
Hi everyone, I'm Malia Deza. You can find me across all corners of the internet, Malia Deza. I use she, her pronouns, but my character does not. His name is Tint. Fresh college dropout, newest recruit to the Silver Scales, sells pharmaceuticals on the street, but did not know what cannabis was. So, and that's what I got. That's Mookie.
And I guess I'll round it out. I'm Taylor. I work with Justin on the So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master podcast. You can find us on anywhere you find podcasts. You can find us all other places. So You Want to Be a DM. That's WANNA for those that are unsure. And I will be playing Jaster Fixadet. I am a little gobbo punchy boy. Working, I break into things. I punch stuff. What I do.
Exactly. Let's punch through this recap and get right into freaking combat. How about that, folks? Okay. Last we left off, we had 4 incredible characters come together under the unification of an international mysterious group called No One, spelled with a K. Ghost, their manager, boss, what have you, visited each of them individually, brought them together to Jaster's family's hot ramen shop, and discussed further plans of how to save Sphinx City from the 1%, from the evil corporations, the greedy CEOs, and the corrupt officials that are ruining this city. We found out that there was something going on in the Lucy T.B. Cemetery when we eventually visited Trinculo, a mysterious figure who runs the church, a gothic nightclub in Wrong Village. By watching a live stream of a paranormal investigator named Rivka, the party found out that something amok was being run. Pete, something was running amok. Let me... Nailed it. That's all staying in. And they decided to also run, but not amok, to the cemetery quickly because apparently strange forces were being felt, possessions and strange occurrences. And upon arrival, we discover 3 unburied graves, just empty lots. The caskets destroyed, no bodies inside. Something is going on. We find out that there's these strange signs of like flower petals that are blackish with like red at the tips of them. They remind us of a flower that was given to Trinculo from Madame Musk. And John, having special experience in his previous life, if you will, as an assassin, saw these unmarked graves and decided to take a closer look. And upon unburying a little piece below the line of soil, into the stone was carved a series of suits, like card suits. Like there was a spade, there was a club, a heart, and a diamond. And right around the time that John begins to recognize the former assassins who died in the line of duty, essentially, we hear a voice. We hear the Banshee, a woman who is wearing almost like a wedding dress. It almost has the vibes of like a bridesmaid's dress, like, but one of those bridesmaids dresses where it's just the worst. No offense.
You can't wear it again?
Every once in a while, you go to some weddings and like you can tell that the
dress.
bride has a heart and is like, you know what? It's not a big deal. Just wear the same color and we're cool, that kind of thing. And then there are other times where it's like, no. I have to look amazing, so you must look terrible. Chiffon, so much tulle, the poofiest of shoulders, and that kind of vibe. And so you turn around, John, hearing this voice, slimy and like broken glass moving over chalkboards, as she essentially says, "Well, John, it appears blowing up your ice cream shop didn't work. I'll have to try again." And that is kind of where we left off last time. We already rolled for initiative. I have everything written down. So, in this like cemetery, it is again like past midnight or about midnight. It's very, very dark out. The only thing giving you any kind of light or anything is essentially moonlight and starlight beaming through some of the trees that adorn this place. It is a beautiful cemetery, all things considered. I mean, statues are very nice. Mausoleums are all well kept. The landscaping is nicely done. There's a small little pond nearby that has some lily pads in it and stuff like that. However, from out of the woodworks, we have the Banshee, this like long flowing white hair that it's almost like she's underwater, the way that it like kind of waves around her and stuff like that. She's wearing this like hideous bridesmaid dress, could be a bridal gown, but who knows. And it's just kind of stained with splotches of red all over it. Next to her, like stepping out of the shadows kind of, is La Llorona. And John, you would recognize some of them, I mean, are undead. They're all undead, right? So like there's aspects of them that you wouldn't recognize just because they obviously are going to look a little different. But I think based on the suits that you were the symbols that you found on the unmarked graves and putting things together, you know their titles and stuff like that. So you recognize a lot of these people. But La Llorona steps out of the shadows. She has long black hair and it is like soaking wet. And it goes down almost to like her ankles. Just this sopping wet hair. Like Ring Girl vibes, but more wet. I can't put it any other way. And then we have the Black Knight. Steps out of a mausoleum, like greenish decayed skin, wearing these black pieces of armor that are sort of makeshift and thrown together, holding a pretty gnarly spear of some kind. And last but not least, we have the Sandman, a gentleman who sort of steps out from behind this tree, and he has a gas mask on. He's giving Cabal vibes from Mortal Kombat. He has two, just because I said he has Cabal vibes. Now I'm gonna lean into that too hard probably, but it's okay. We'll say he's got two like sickles. So instead of hooked swords, which is a little shorter, two sickles that he's dual wielding kind of, and he has a perpetual cloud of sand just like circling around him. Another let's do another pop culture reference, kind of like Naruto, like not the character Naruto but from the show Naruto.
Dara.
Yes, exactly, thank you. You could tell I forgot his name as I was describing, but yes, the kind of sand that seems like it has a life of its own. And this is where we find ourselves in this sort of, let's call it a soft ambush, because they don't necessarily get the jump on you because you found all these little clues. Your like senses are so aware that something is about to go down that they don't end up like actually surprising you or anything crazy like that. And so it just comes down to an initiative roll, and with that we enter into combat. Jaster and Twofer, you go first.
Hell yeah. So Jaster kind of looks around, sees everybody going around, and he like cracks his neck a little bit, starts bouncing on his toes. He's like, all right, Twofer, let's get to work. And we're gonna just straight up charge right over to La Llorona here and surround her. And as we're going, Twofer's little, like, the back of his neck opens up and a little, like, extendable quarterstaff pops up out of his neck, grab it out of the air, and I'm just gonna swing down on her with this.
As you approach her, as you're rolling dice, as you approach La Llorona, her hair immediately starts, like, not in the same way. The Banshees is making it look like it's underwater, but it's dry. So it's just kind of floating ethereally. It's quite beautiful, maybe. If the setting was different and she wasn't so undead. But La Llorona's hair is acting like tentacles, like tendrils, in the way that they are acting. Clumps of her hair is like reaching around and almost on its own is beginning to reach for you and Twofer, even though she's only looking at you.
Okay. That's a 24 to hit.
Incredible. Absolutely is.
Cool. That's going to be 9 damages. And for bonus action, I'm going to burn a key point and hit her 2 more giggity goddamn times.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Sorry, a focus point. I'm using a 2024 mod now. First one's a 23.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, an 18 and a 19 on the die. So
Goodness
a lot.
Gracious. Yeah.
7 and 10, 17 additional damage.
Hell yeah. You just start laying into this very soaking wet woman.
Yeah, so like the quarterstaff, I like hit her with it and let it like smash into her, bounce up, and then I also, while it's kind of like, I let it go and let it fly up into the air, and then do 2 more hits on her, and then catch it again and get ready for her to come at me.
Catch it, like spin it around.
Yeah.
Cool shit. Hell yeah. And so that would then imply that Twofer's taking the dodge action.
Mm-hmm.
After Jaster's turn is the Banshee. The Banshee probably knows, because of the Banshee's involvement in some of the stuff, probably knows of Belkor and Jaster just because of like their meddling. But also
kids.
knows
the dog too.
Yeah. I would have gotten it was Old Man Rivers. I think the Banshee would also know John, or at least know of John, right? So I think she's gonna hedge her bets, and she's gonna take a 5-step foot back. She's not a psycho; she's just an evil Banshee woman, and so from this distance, she is going to blast off to, I'm flavoring them as, they're essentially like, it's not literally a spell, but it's kind of like an Eldritch Blast, but I'm going to flavor them as like scream attacks. So it's a very Sindel, where she just is, you see her just kind of like
combat.
and just like a freaking shockwave beams out as like you have to like put your hands over your ears as this like piercing sound travels and attempts to just like hit John and do this damage. So that is going to be 2 attacks on John Smith. Ooh, the first one is wait. I know you have shield.
My 50-50 spell.
What is your current AC?
17, 22 with shield.
And Jaster, same question.
20 and then 25.
Goodness gracious.
Fast as fuck, boy. Also, Artificer doesn't hurt.
Okay. So your normal AC right now, John, is at a 17. I will say it does hit the first one.
I'll try to spend it.
Okay. You cast shield. What does your shield look like?
It's just the heat around me just intensifies and tries to melt anything before it contacts me.
Insane. Your freaking heat shield is so intense, it melts sound.
You'd love to see it.
Hit me up in the comments. That's how that works. The next one misses. So it was a 21. So it was a pretty incredible call to shield. So
Just
these 2 insane screen blasts head in your direction. You see that they're pretty gnarly, but you manage to block both of them, and you still have like the little bit of ringing in your ear. It doesn't do any damage, obviously, but that is the Banshee's turn as she looks over at you. And John, you're next in initiative, but the Banshee just ends her turn by saying, "What are you gonna do, John? What, do you got a new little pack of kids? Kids? You have a kid, don't you?" And that's how she's gonna end her turn.
All right. I
It's not
think
going to work out so well for her.
I know, Justin knows that the Banshee just crossed the line.
John
Everyone else knows.
is going to angrily walk forward, and from out of his waistline, he pulls out a gun that is also a wand of the War Mage. And as heat and fire begin to infuse into this firearm that looks eerily reminiscent to a 1911 combat master, as seen in John Wick 2. His eyes then not yet. We're gonna get there one day. His eyes begin to turn from his regular purple iris into one that's more draconic. So you see the cat like slit in the eye, and then everything starts to turn this reddish orange. And he just looks at her and says, "You don't know what you took from me," and is just gonna charge forward at her and get into 5 feet of her, and is going to cast a Scorching Ray as he starts shooting.
Incredible.
And he activates his Sorcery Incarnate as his bonus action.
Amazing. Does that allow you, obviously you could cast Scorching Ray between the walk or on the walk, but you said that you're getting right up close to her. Does the War Mage thing or what is giving you not disadvantage of casting a ranged spell so close?
That's my feat, Spell Sniper, so I can not have disadvantage at any range, in close range. I mean, so really I'm going to get right in her face and then start shooting.
Amazing. That close gun combat that John Wick is sometimes known for.
Let's see here. So if that first one's going to be a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Second is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And then the last one is a 12 to hit.
That will miss.
Gotcha. All right, so 4d6.
Heck yeah.
Plus.
I have that stupid Sandman song stuck in my head. Mr. Sandman, bring me a tree.
Bum, bum.
Thank you.
It could have been
Thank
the
you.
Metallica
I appreciate
one,
that.
And you went in a different direction.
No, totally different. Because it's a bad guy, I can't give him the badass music.
That's fair.
All right, so that's going to be 14 points of fire damage.
14 fire damage. As you close combat begin sort of shooting these small fireballs out of your pistol at her, two of them make contact and parts of her dress begin to smolder. The final one, she manages to just kind of like use the back of her hand and just kind of like gets one just past her, and it just misses barely. And anything else on your turn, John?
No, I just use my movement to get up in her face, and that's it.
Okay, incredible. It is the Sandman's turn. Sandman,
Bum, 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 bum.
he's gonna rush up here. Let me just. Okay. The Sandman rushes up. Again, this like sand kicking around him, shrouding his body a little bit. You think that if you had to, like, I don't know, track him, it would be a nightmare because the sand would just constantly be like fucking up his tracks and stuff like that. But it doesn't necessarily cause. You're also so close to it, Belkor, that you're like in it, so it's not really affecting you. Everybody else looking in, you can see Belkor, you can see the Sandman, but there's just like this mist around them of sand, like they're locked in this one-on-one fight as he is going to make two of his sickle attacks.
Definitely not the cutest I've ever seen.
And Belkor, your AC is 14?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. It's at 14. I know you have a very special fedora that can bump it up potentially, but for now, it's at a 14. Okay. One of those hits. You have a reaction. Would you like to say fuck it to that? No, not yet? Okay, cool.
That's what? Once every combat or
Pretty much. It's once per day, I think, or once per long rest, or some rest system that D&D has.
short rest?
Short
Yes,
rest.
once per rest.
Does one huge slash attack. You manage to use Ramsey and just block it, but then he comes in with the second one as you're sort of exposing yourself, parrying the first, and he just jabs the sickle like into your rib cage, but it just narrowly misses your lungs. You're fine. You just take some damage.
Get like sand in my eye. I couldn't
You're fine.
see it.
It's fine.
Fine.
Don't worry about it.
I do need a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty. 11.
11. Interesting. You're going to take 10 points of damage from the actual sickle itself. As his sickle cuts into your torso, sand from his whole thing, Gara style, follows his sickle into your wound.
Great. Now it's never going to get out.
And you take a point of exhaustion.
Ooh,
Point of exhaustion.
that's a no good.
Now, most of the
How
time
would
during
I-
combat, it won't have the biggest effect.
The Sandman
Because-
making you sleepy.
Sandman makes you a little sleepy. And so you feel a little bit of lethargicness. Lethargy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Come over you. It was weird. I hate when words change the pronunciation of how it sounds noun versus verb. Anyway, you feel a little tired as this sand seeps into your central system of organs and stuff. And with that 1 point of exhaustion, all that means at this point, you can Google this, just points of exhaustion 5e, and it'll come up for your own benefit. But for those listening, it really, at this point, is just disadvantage on ability checks. But that is the Sandman's turn as we move on to the Black Knight. The Black Knight clink clangs his way, the antithesis of stealth, as all of his armor bangs onto each other, as he just kind of like, I think he saw what John did in his cool angry walk and was like, I'm gonna do that. And so he walks
What, are
over
we
there.
walking to Williams
His arms are out like this. Like a bodybuilder who can't touch their toes or scratch their own head.
What's that specific build?
Scratch my head. Like, and comes over to you, Tint, and is going to just make a weapon attack for now. They have with them like a shield, a circular looking shield, also made of black, like scorched metal. Like it doesn't look like the metal itself. It's not like made of like onyx or some kind of shit like that. Like it looks like it was probably like steel and was silver at a point and was intentionally burned to give it this blackened effect. And he seems to cling a little bit to the shadows, like any shadow that's being cast by like trees or bushes or like the moonlight coming from above. His own shadows just seems to stretch towards other shadows in a weird way. And he has this long spear, and with his shield up, he's going to try and take a stab at you. Definitely going to hit. That is a dirty 20. Filthy, disgusting 20. I'm so sorry.
Are you sure?
What's your AC again?
No, I just think you read your dice wrong.
Oh, okay. Let me check.
17 is my AC.
Okay. So
Sometimes
14
that nat 1
plus-
looks like a nat 20.
I get that. Luckily, these die have little symbols on that 20, so I'll know. But thank you so much for checking up.
I got you.
So it does hit. Look at that. Turns out it does hit.
Oddly
And,
enough.
Trying to gaslight my DM.
I do need, so sorry to say this, a Constitution saving throw.
Justin, I thought you said this was going to be fun.
Oh, it is. Are we not, I'm sorry. Are we not having fun? I'm
Yeah,
having
I'm
a
having
blast.
blast.
Okay.
21.
21. Will
Nice.
absolutely succeed. You're going to take 22 points of necrotic damage
Ow.
as you see him take his spear and he goes to jab the spear into your abdomen, like all the soft bits. And Tint, you're a little agile. You're a kobold. You actually dodge the attack and he stabs it into your shadow. And you feel this energy get pulled out of your shadow, and it is connected to you, and therefore, I'm just flavoring it that way, gang. I don't know. It sounds kind of cool. Right? I mean,
I'm sorry, what?
Peter Pan, are you going to
the stat block doesn't say stab shadow. I think that's cooler than stabbing a person. But so he stabs your shadow, and he life drains the necrotic damage out of your shadow connected to you, and you take that damage, and that is all the Black Knight can do, which brings us to Tint with Belkor on deck.
Alright, so the first thing Tint's gonna do, he completely means for this draconic roar to come out very frightening, but as his shadow gets stabbed, it comes out more like a but these two, everyone will have advantage on attacking them with Tint's draconic roar that terrified them.
Amazing.
And then, so that's my bonus action. And then Tint's gonna cast Flaming Sphere right on his booty. Which, I don't know if mechanically this does anything, but since he really likes shadows, this does cast a huge 20 feet of bright light.
Nice.
Ooh.
Bright light in a 20-foot radius.
I'll say that it would make sense to me that something would happen. At least,
Also, any of these trees, bushes, anything this ball is going to touch will catch on fire.
Yeah, is this like a pond or something here?
This right here is a pond. Those are lily pads.
Okay. Well, nothing.
Yeah,
So
that's the only
not
water
catch on
feature.
fire.
Incredible.
But
So yeah, Molly, you should be able to move that guy around as you see fit.
Yep, and it doesn't do anything yet, but if he ends his turn within 5 feet of it, then he has to make a dex save.
Incredible. Awesome.
And
awesome.
that's Tint's turn.
Belkor, You are up, buddy. As this sphere opens up, the shadows dance away from the bright light created by this fireball, and the Black Knight. This up until this point has been like, "Ugh, I'm gonna get you, little guy," and then similar to Tint's draconic roar of fright, as the shadows disperse a little bit, the Black Knight immediately is like, "What the hell? No! You cut that out! You cut that out!" Belkor, now it is your turn as the Sandman isn't talking a ton. You see that he's trying to talk to you and talk shit like all the other ones are. But he's got cotton mouth. He's got very dry mouth.
It's probably like a muffle.
You have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Sorry, speak up.
Yeah, no idea.
You need some water or something.
You better not. Never drink water.
I can cast grease. I mean, if that helps a little bit. I mean, all right. You know what? I'm like, all right. You know what? You need like a tracheotomy. I'm gonna use my cleaver, my good old cleaver.
Have advantage.
Advantage, sweet. Well, you know what? I don't think I can do any better than that. Definitely not better than that. No, that's a 19, so that is technically a crit.
Hell yeah.
Crit. Champion fighters.
And then I've got actually 2 attacks. Haha.
And they're both at advantage, right?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah, I think
advantage.
all attacks.
All right.
It's insane.
All attacks on these two are at.
Well,
That's a kobold. Hell yeah.
Another crit? Goodness.
Incredible.
Hell yeah.
I'm ruined.
All right. And then
I'm ruined.
for the dagger.
Iconic.
We're gonna finish
And then for the
break.
dagger. All right, so that's that. Okay, so that was 18.
18 to hit will hit, yes.
Cool. All right, so the first 2 attacks, those are crits.
Crit from a fighter is no
Mama.
joke.
All right, so
joking.
that's
Now, giving the champion advantage, the champion fighter specifically.
Mm-hmm.
A 2-weapon fighter with advantages is a crit. This is literally the crit Fisher build.
Well, what's funny
Yeah.
is that so for the
Crit
first
Fisher.
attack, I got max damage. On both rolls.
Nice.
So that's
Hell yeah.
let's see, that's 19 damage on the first attack. All right,
Okay.
not as good, but still. All right, so
Okay.
that's 12 on the other attack. So 19 and 12, so that's what 31 damage. And then
Yeah.
for the dagger, didn't crit.
Thank God.
That's
Isn't that
8
advantage?
plus damage. That was with advantage.
You said
yeah,
8?
I got 8. So that's
Amazing.
total of 39 damage to the Sandman.
Iconic.
39 damage as Belkor begins to frickin' Julian the sand guy. Frickin' dicing him up. He's the what is it called? The chop shop?
Oh,
The slap chop.
Yeah, slap
Yeah.
chop. That's
you gotta like my nuts.
amazing.
Literally despining the
You got
opponent.
you got yourself an omelet right here. Oh, you got something for soup.
Oh man, yeah, right.
Little gritty.
Until I introduced the ShamWow.
Wow.
And that
okay.
I'm done. I'm done. That's it for me.
I would hope so.
Action
Oh wait,
surge.
yeah, I was about to say I got
Action
it.
surge.
Do it.
Action.
Do it. You got advantage.
Action.
Spin that
Action.
cash.
Yeah, it's only
Spin
advantage
that cash.
on this
Doing
turn.
it. I'm doing it.
I spoke
Hell
too
yeah.
soon.
Hell yeah.
Too
Let's
soon.
go. 2 more crits. 2 more crits.
2 more. Move that bus.
Oh man. All right, so this counts as 2 more attacks, correct? 'Cause
Mhm.
I've got 2,
Yeah,
but the dagger is not one of them.
No.
correct.
Correct. Okay.
God.
Insane.
This is Leonardo DiCaprio on Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere.
All right.
I'm not
So good news for Justin. I got an 18. Just shy of that beautiful crit. But, so that's actually 26. At least the first attack.
Crit. Come on, you got it. Crit.
No lie, the first roll was another 18 on the dice. And that was better than the 12. So, yeah, that's still a...
That's still
nice,
Still 2 more hits.
Nice 26.
Oodles of damage.
Run it!
2 more hits.
Oodles of damage.
I feel like a coach. I'm like, run it, Belkor, run it.
Yes, sir. All right, that is 22 more damage.
Boy,
Me too.
how's that Sandman looking though?
Not good.
Please tell me it's bloody.
Oh, absolutely bloody. Might have been bloodied before the action surge. I need to double check that. Yeah, 61 points of damage
Jesus
in a turn
Christ.
Disgusting.
with physical melee attacks. With physical melee attacks.
Disgusting.
Meanwhile, just sip my tea.
All right, Gale, don't get ahead of yourself. It's early in the combat. After Belkor's turn, La Llorona is up. Let's see if La Llorona can maybe... Oh, what's this? All crits on every number but one? Weird. No,
Disadvantage, please.
disadvantage, please. Okay.
Well, if you're attacking Jaster, you'd be kind of cruel to attack the dog. I mean, honestly.
Not right away. I would never attack the dog immediately. I wait until at least mid-combat, and then I attack the dog.
Not at the beginning of the season.
No.
Don't want to get us canceled on episode 2.
We're too early on.
You wouldn't do that.
You know what I mean? God forbid that happened. No, this dog's gonna live forever.
Barely started using
it. Okay. We are going to make some attacks. She is going to... First, she's going to make a hair attack. So, in a very different way from the Banshee, also like Sindel, though, her hair is going to... It, like, in a clump of it, becomes this massive, almost like hair tendril as it attempts, at least, to wrap around you like a snake and constrict your body and begin squeezing you. But we'll see if it does that first.
Mm-hmm. And as she's doing that,
this is disadvantage.
Yes, Twofer is grabs onto her leg and kind of yanks her back a little bit to kind of throw her off balance.
Yeah, and it works.
Hell yeah.
As what happens is the hair wraps around you and it just starts to squeeze you a little bit, not enough to do anything. And then the biting of Twofer captures so much of her attention that her hair just becomes hair again and just kind of like falls limp and returns to her. And in her frustration, she yells at you. You know, he should really be on a leash. He should really be on a leash in a public place.
No, he's actually really well trained.
Well, how about this?
Thicker.
He's
Service
friendly.
dog.
It makes 2 claw attacks at you.
Super friendly.
He doesn't bite.
He should be on a leash.
He only maims.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor. The disadvantage is only for the first attack, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, cool. The first claw attack hits.
Why not? Shield.
Okay. Shield blocks the first claw attack. The second claw attack goes through.
I don't like
The
that.
first one was a
Crazy about
23, and
that.
then I rolled an insane thing. So
Not really crazy about that. Could you just not?
don't worry, I'll roll average dice for damage.
Yes.
As La Llorona makes these 2 claw attacks, one of them makes contact with your shield, and the shield blocks it. What does Jaster's shield look like?
Like a repulsor thing, because it's from his artificer side. So it's like he's got kind of like one of those like the Iron Man things that just kind of has like a defensive shield bubble thing that pops up, and if something comes in too quickly, it'll bounce it off.
Hell yeah, like Dune, if it comes in too quickly.
Yeah.
What are they called? Still suits or something? But oh yeah, she makes this claw attack. There's a moment where she thinks she hits you, but as she like makes contact like with your neck, even this like pulse of bluish energy like comes out to reveal the shield itself. And when with the next one, she attacks even harder and manages to pierce through. It doesn't like break the shield, but she finds a way to get around the shield in that moment. And so you are going to take 10 points of slashing damage.
How dare you?
So that is La Llorona's turn, bringing us back to the top. Jaster and Twofer, that is your turn.
Oh, you done goofed. You done goofed.
You need your last haul.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna lay into her again with the quarterstaff. Yikes. That's a 1 and a 2 on the first attack. So I'm assuming an 11 doesn't hit.
It does not hit.
Okay. All right.
Her hair starts reaching down to the ground, and it like Doc Ock picks her up, and she uses her legs to just bicycle kick your staff out of the way in that moment.
Okay. I'm going to take the staff, plant it in the ground, and then also lift myself off the ground with it, and then do like a bicycle kick at her head.
It's a missed opportunity to give her levitate at will with the hair.
It'd be sick.
That is an 18 to hit.
That will absolutely
first
hit.
One, and then a 6, so a 13.
13 misses.
What about a 14? Because it's actually 6 plus 8.
14 also misses.
Okay.
Just barely.
That is going to be 11 more damages as I kick her in the frickin' teeth.
Too shabby. Because she's undead, they fall out easily.
I actually low-key love that.
Amazing. That is your action and bonus action. 2 for taking the dodge. That is it? Okay, awesome.
That is it.
That brings us to the Banshee. Banshee is gonna say,
"Oh, you like things close and personal. Good, I like making things personal too."
and she's gonna throw her hands forward and attempt to cast a spell on you, John. And so unless you're doing anything, I'm going to need
I will try to cast Counterspell.
Okay. So then go ahead and roll your sorcerer. So it should be just a charisma check, essentially. D20 plus your charisma modifier. Just got to hit a 15.
That's a 18 on the die. Plus
Amazing.
7.
So a successful counterspell. She burns the spell slot, can't cast Hold Monster again. So that's good. So what does your counterspell look like as she is attempting? You feel like the way I like to describe spells, even when they succeed or saving throws or like counterspell or something, you begin to feel the very early effects of mind control as she is about to take this nuclear weapon that is John the Painter Smith and redirect it to the rest of the team here. And you counterspell it in this moment. What does John Smith's counterspell look like up close and personal?
That is a punch in the throat with the gun. Just a quick.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like with the barrel.
What the fuck was that?
With the barrel, straight to the throat,
Was that magic?
straight in the middle.
Was that even magic?
You can't even tell. That's the trick of it. You're like, I think he used magic, but where was the? I didn't see any hand movement. Did I? He said something. I can't tell.
Insane.
Magician never reveals his secret.
Insane. Yeah, I mean that's excuse me, that's the Banshee's whole turn. Trying to cast Hold
Amazing.
Monster on this assassin to turn him loose. And so, oh boy, the initiative order truly is not in the Banshee's favor in this moment, because right after that, it is John's turn.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Not only does
Boy.
John recharge his reaction, but also it's John's turn.
John is going to cast a first level witch bolt. So from his giant heritage, purple electricity begins to gather around his hand, and then he whips out basically this rope made of lightning around her neck. And then he begins to, as a bonus action, activate his giant form as he begins to grow just slightly, like about a foot taller. And is just now kind of larger and even more imposing over her as he begins to like hoist up the rope and just says, "You should have stayed in the ground. I'll make sure of that this time." And it's gonna take that attack roll.
Please do.
That is a 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
All right, so she is going to take 2d12 lightning damage.
Heck yeah.
13 points of lightning damage.
13 points of lightning damage as the electric rope around her neck like jolts this electric damage into her, and there are brief moments like a cartoon where you can see her skeleton appear as she's being zapped. Anything else, John?
No, that ends my turn. But in my
Incredible.
giant form, I do get advantage on
Amazing.
strength saving throws and abilities around it.
Beautiful. In your giant form, do you become go from medium to large in like a D&D rules sense? I know you said you literally grow larger, but like, do you grow size wise? It's not the end of it's not a big deal. It's just changing the size of your token, but
Yeah, large as a bonus action.
oh, sick.
This transformation lasts for 10 minutes. Advantage on strength checks. Speed increases by 10. Once per day.
Amazing. Love to hear it. And you are concentrating on Witch
Witch Bolt.
Bolt, correct? Amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. After John's turn, we go to the Sandman. The Sandman is going to, after being nearly killed in one turn, Jesus Christ. I low-key forgot. Between all of the NPCs and PCs, I kind of forgot how much damage the Sandman took last turn from Belkor. So we will use his really big ability that needs a recharge to do again. And he's going to Sand Slash. So you see the sand that is kicking around the two of you grows in diameter. So it actually begins to encapsulate Belkor and Tint in this quick moment. And the sand actually solidifies into glass as these glass shards whip around. And I need the two of you to make dexterity saving throws, please.
That's not a Pokemon.
I know, when it said Sand Slash, I was like, hell yeah, I love Sand Slash.
Got a 13.
I've gone 11.
You're each going to take 16 points of slashing damage. Tint, my friend, I'm going to need a concentration check. Just need to hit a 10. Constitution saving
18.
throw. Good to
It's
go.
another die.
Flaming
18.
sphere still there. Bolt
Still on
burning.
his foot.
Yeah, I'm like afraid to even move away.
Always use your action to disengage.
You could
Not when
just
you have
not
the same
attack.
speed as the guy chasing you. Not when you have the same speed as the guy chasing you. He'll stay there. He's undead. He already died once. What's the worst that could happen, honestly, you know?
What are you gonna do? Kill me again?
That's what he goes.
Yeah.
He goes, whatever.
Yes!
Yeah, I
Yes, I am!
He sounds a little bit like a drier Steve-O.
Knoxville told me, he said, you gotta staple this to your balls. I said, anything for the fans.
And that's Sandman's turn. We move on to the Black Knight. Sees one of his cohorts almost eat it. Let's go ahead and not wrap things up, excuse me, but sort of get things going, I guess, a little bit. And so you see he tries to pull back some of the shadows, and he's sort of shielding one, the spear in the other. He's using the spear almost like a scepter, and he sort of calls some of the shadows and navigates them towards one of the graves nearby. He like draws his spear up, and you see essentially a wraith come up from the ground and rise up, and you see this ghost rise from the ground, smoky phantasmal form, long claws, and is wearing, like, just under the sort of ghost-like surface of its body, you see a policeman's badge that is just slightly crooked. Dun dun dun. These guys. And that is all that the Black Knight will do. The Wraith that goes on his turn is going to go like right here. So he's within range of both of Tint and Belkor. This ghost of a crooked cop approaches and is going to go after Belkor on this one. A miss. Belkor, this crooked cop ghost that you've recognized the form of this being. This one, maybe it has something to do with the Black Knight. Maybe it has something to do with this cemetery and like the process by which these undead assassins were summoned. This ghost cop looks beefier, just looks stronger, more formidable than the ghosts forever ago that you guys fought in the abandoned subway. Those guys, it was like 2 hits and you could take them out. This guy's a little more substantial.
Gotcha. So 4 hits.
Well, honestly, the way that you've been rolling already, maybe. And that is the Black Knight's turn. Tint, that is your turn with Belkor on deck.
All right. So the first thing Tint's going to do is use his bonus action to move the fireball like 10 feet away and then bring it back. Actually, he ends his turn, so he has to make a con save with it right up on his butt. Is it a con? No, wait. Dex save. My bad.
Dex save. Fails.
All right. So he's going to take 2d6 fire damage. 6 points of fire damage.
Amazing.
But then once again, I'm going to have it and right back into him. So he needs to make another dex save.
Another dex save. Goodness.
Yeah. He had to do one because he ended his turn with his butt in the flames. But then I
right. And then
rammed it into him.
Rammed it in as a bonus action. Amazing. Fails again.
All right. So
Rammed it in there.
Yep, just rammed it right up the booty hole.
Straight to the bum.
10
Way
points,
up there.
10 more points of fire damage.
Way up there, Morty.
It rams it back into his butt. Hint is laughing about this too. Some flames up his butt.
Hey, I'm not a liar. Why are my pants on fire?
And then he's
Almost
going
too
to...
easy. Almost too easy.
And then from his back pocket, he's going to take out one of the test tubes again. So it's Golem University on it. Like, property of Golem University. Do not take off campus. It is off campus. He gives it a good shake, and then he acid splashes into this guy's face.
Amazing.
So he make another dex save.
Always leaving evidence.
Wow. Unbelievable. Another fail.
Let's go.
He's got a decent number for this. Like,
4
out of the
points.
4
It's a good thing he
monsters,
sucks.
he has the best dex.
He's going to take, let's say, 4 points of acid damage.
Okay. Ay, Dios mío.
That's Tint's turn.
Amazing. So
No.
Tint shakes up this strange bottle, throws it. You're throwing it like at his face or at his body,
Oh, yeah.
just like
No, right
hurling it at him
after
point blank.
Mhm.
Amazing. I think the Black Knight is just so frustrated and like, what the hell was that? You threw acid at me. What the fuck?
And I lit your asshole on fire. Coming at you from both sides, bud.
That was you? I thought my hemorrhoids were back. You son of a bitch. And he looks furious.
Damn, hemorrhoids? I don't want to get old.
Rough.
It could happen to anybody. That leads us to Belkor's turn. Please, before we get into more butt talk.
That was like a really dark corner of TikTok. Welcome to Butt Talk, everybody.
Flaming butt talk.
Oh boy.
So Belkor is kind of like wiping a little bit of sand out of his eyes a little bit, like, ow! Yeah, that really hurt.
I'm sorry about that. A job's a job.
Oh, you know what? I understand. I mean, I too am kind of in the whole job's a job.
It's not
kind of thing.
personal, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, this won't be personal either. Just
I get it. Do what you gotta do.
Everybody's having like really intense fights. Belkor and the Sandman are like kind of shooting the shit a little bit. There's like two gentlemen having a friendly fight. To the death, but still friendly.
Does a 12 hit?
A 12 misses.
Very Gomez Adams coded.
Let's see. Does a 12
Great parry.
split? 20. Sorry, math. 24.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And then for the dagger, that's 23.
That will also hit.
All right, so only two attacks, one dagger, one cleaver.
Heck yeah.
That is 11 damage plus 7, so that's 18 damage total. Not as great as the last
Okay.
one, but I got something.
You got something. You got something for sure, because Belkor, I need you to describe how you take out the
Oh,
Sandman
yeah.
Yes.
You
in
love
the
to see it.
second round of combat.
All right, so
He did like 1 billion damage in the first round. So
I
like,
know.
so yeah, I'm like, yep, this is. I mean, shoot, you know what? This isn't personal either. So like, I kind of like faint. Oh no, I've missed. But did I really? Boom, and then stab,
Incredible.
and then twist the blade, pull out. Well, I like to imagine it's the freaking guy from Hellboy, who's like just made of just sand, and all he is just like the little heart, little crockba or whatever.
Oh, like a little device that
Yeah.
sort of circulates things. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When you almost like disembowel this guy, all that comes out is sand as he falls to his knees, and immediately, like, even though he's already undead, his gas mask sort of falls off in that moment as if it was like more magically attached to his face rather than practically. And you see underneath, almost like at first glance, the mask comes off, looks like a normal human face. Like you're almost like, oh shit, was he not undead? And then immediately it desiccates to where it's like all the fluid just leaves his body as he like mummifies instantly. There's still a body there, but it's just like practically bones.
Gotcha. Cool.
As you have taken out the Sandman. You obviously still have this Wraith right on you, but do you want to make any movements? Do you want to...
I do. I want to move right over here.
Classic. Yeah.
You know,
If you're gonna use flanking house rules, you gotta expect people to flank.
yeah.
Often and always.
And that ends my turn.
Amazing. You get on the other side of this crooked cop ghost, and it moves on to La Llorona. Man.
Don't get canceled, Justin.
What's the dog doing?
What?
What did
you
dog
you just don't want
doing?
me to attack the dog? I might attack the
That's a
dog.
fiction.
Don't do it.
Don't attack the dog.
You're gonna get canceled.
Nah,
La
if Brendan Lee
Llorona.
Mulligan can do it, I could do it.
Honestly, I'm gonna start a smear campaign if you kill the dog.
Good. I'll
If
use
Brennan
it.
Lee Mulligan was jumping off of bridges, would you do it too? Huh? It's
Yes.
just Brennan Lee Mulligan.
It depends
Yes.
which bridge.
Honestly, probably.
Listen,
He
if
did the
Brennan Lee
math.
I trust
Mulligan,
him.
yeah.
I genuinely trust him with my life. Yeah, I absolutely would. If he's dirty, something's got to be going on down there. There's something at the bottom of that river. I tell you, at the bottom of the Brooklyn Bridge.
It's probably birds.
It's probably birds.
Probably birds.
Wait, they aren't real.
They're not.
That's right. They're the bourgeoisie.
They are.
Okay. We are going to make another hair attack against.
You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know it.
Oh,
I
wait.
know it. The first dice I looked at was really good, and then I like turned my head, look at the other dice, and it's a 4, and I was like, "Damn it!" Hair attack misses once again. This dog biting onto her her leg. She's like, "What is going on here? Am I gonna get rabies? Does this dog have rabies? Does it have all of the shots?"
It's metal. It's like a metallic dog. It doesn't.
It could have a virus.
Tetanus.
I can't. It's maybe.
Am I gonna get malware? Is that
Yes.
gonna happen?
Actually, I do actually have hacking software installed on Twofer, so if you
Incredible. So you're tracking my location, is what you're saying.
You've
You've implanted a tracking
and every
device in my
keystroke
leg.
that you make, yeah.
And with that, I'm going to split her 2 claw attacks. She's frustrated at this point. She is going to hit the dog with a single claw attack.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's a 15.
Make that just or against Tombst.
15 against the dog, sorry.
Okay, 15 will hit Twofer.
Okay. She misses her attack against you. Goes to make a claw attack with these like elongated, sharp nails against Twofer. Gets 1 successful claw attack. Turns around to try and catch you off guard and do a second claw attack against you. You easily dodge out of the way.
What an idiot.
Twofer's just going to take 6 points of slashing damage.
Twofer's mad now.
Oh, Twofer's mad now. Okay. Okay. So I did something right. I got a rise out of Toof. That was the goal. See, I'm not trying to kill the dog. I'm just trying to get the dog emotionally invested in the fight. That's all. That's all.
Tell your dog I said.
I have DM dysfunction. I have DM dysfunction.
I have DM dysfunction.
A recent study published by the Bardic College of Lore claims that 69% of dungeon masters suffer from DM dysfunction, or DMD. This condition has more facets than your favorite polyhedral. Some have reported burnout, writer's block, issues with balance, or inner party problems. At So You Wanna Be a DM, it's our mission to not only fight the monster-like symptoms of DM dysfunction, but to treat the very cause of it. To do this, we implement auditory technology in the form of the podcast So You Wanna Be a Dungeon Master. By listening to the tips and tricks provided by Justin and Taylor, DM dysfunction can become a thing of the past.
I've been a listener of the podcast for over 4 months now, and I don't have to worry about DM dysfunction anymore. And I just DM'd my first homebrew world, and I didn't have to worry about DM dysfunction.
With all the So You Wanna Be a Dungeon Master content that I consume, I'll never have to worry about DM dysfunction ever again.
And neither will you. Check out So You Wanna Be a Dungeon Master.
You can talk to your doctor today, or you can find So You Wanna Be a Dungeon Master anywhere you find podcasts. Listening to too many episodes in a row can cause excessive imagination, lucid dreaming, lactose intolerance, and character death. Sorry, not death, character depth.
And remember, you don't want DMD, you want D&D.
And we're back. And the gang's all here. We're in the middle of pitched combat against 3 undead assassins because Belkor handedly wiped one off the face of the earth. Again, technically, because he was already dead, but the butcher, yes, you earned, nickname earned appropriately.
Oddly enough, my intimidation is, like, my charisma is -1, so intimidation is my lowest stat, but I will fuck people up.
Absolutely. Your strength speaks for itself. Who needs charisma when you have 3 attacks, can crit on a 19, and an action search thrown in. I have it written down. 79 points of damage in 2 rounds. Pretty nutty.
Absolutely awesome.
And we start back at the top of combat. Jaster and Twofer, y'all are up.
So Twofer's officially mad now. Twofer and Jaster are locking in here. So I'm going to go high with the quarterstaff, and then Twofer's going to go low with the ankle biting.
Hell yeah.
First one's 20, or my attack's 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm. That'll hit.
And Twofer, what is his buster attack? It's a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. And
All
obviously, for the sake of the map and the token, we use one of those like MIT robot dog things.
Mhm.
But like, how dog-like, I know he like robotic, but how dog-like does Twofer look, would you say, in his dog form?
So I don't know how familiar you are with the Mega Man franchise.
Mm.
But it looks like
I know
the
he
dog.
has a dog.
Yeah.
Because of
It's,
Smash Bros. I know he has a dog.
Yeah.
And that's
So it looks kind of like that, and also does the transforming into the rocket.
Yes.
That's transforms into the rocket skateboard kind
yeah.
of dog form a little bit.
amazing.
Word. That's 13 damage from me and 5 damage from Twofer. Getting that chip
Incredible.
damage, baby. Not,
You
not
go
one of my
high,
hits.
Twofer goes low. Incredible hits. Amazing.
Yeah, so it's definitely Twofer grabs her by the ankle and actually like bites down hard. Kind of starts dragging, and then I come up with and just like a not even like a quarterstaff, like a baseball bat, just straight up clock her in the head.
Brutal. Brutal. Amazing. She's freaking out at the dog. That is just she obviously is anti-dog.
Be a cat person?
Maybe. Based on her demeanor, she might be a fish person.
Attack her with a cat and find out.
We gotta attack her with a cat. We'll find out. We'll run down the list of common household pets until we find out which. You like attack with a guinea pig, and she's like, "I'll take it. I love it. I actually love guinea pigs."
Oh,
Okay, small rodents.
Question that has nothing to actually do with anything. In this pond, are
My
there
favorite
fish?
kind. Yeah, there's koi.
It's
Are they
koi
between
pond.
1 and 5 pounds and could be catapulted?
I'm so glad you asked. Absolutely, you could catapult a koi fish. Average weight of koi fish. Holy shit! Some of them are 35 pounds.
Mhm.
Whoa! You can find a baby koi fish or something. We could say maybe a small frog chilling nearby, a dragonfly or something.
You said she's a fish person. I need to test this.
Only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out.
But after Jaster's turn, it is Banshee's. Banshee, electric rope tied around her neck, gigantic sorcerer in front of her. She kind of like clasps her hands together, and when she separates them, a sword made of like dark black energy appears in front of her, and it's like this gnarly looking sword that is double bladed, and then at the end of it is almost like a pickaxe, like a double pickaxe in both ways, as opposed to having a point. Like she can't stab this way with this sword, but if she swung and hit you with the tip of the sword, it would like axe pick into you. Just this crazy looking blade. And she is going to attempt to make 2 of these attacks at you, John. That's me. First attack misses. That one will hit.
gotcha. I will attempt to cast shield.
Okay. It comes out to a 24 total on this particular hit. So that is going to bypass the shield by just a smidgen. And the blade makes contact with your extra large form. And as it does, you feel that there's some extra energy behind this swing. So instead of just taking slashing damage, you also take a little bit of force damage. It's going to be total, if you include the slashing and the force, it comes out to 17.
Gotcha.
So then that'll just still be a base 10 concentration check.
Okay. Is 10 on the die.
Incredible. You maintain concentration on Witch Bolt, and that is the Banshee's turn. John, you are up.
I will cast a 3rd level Scorching Ray.
Incredible.
That's going to be 4 attacks.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. First one is going to be 26 to hit.
Yeah.
25 to hit.
That'll hit.
26 to hit. 26 to hit. I keep rolling a lot of 19s. I wish I was a champion fighter. That would have been like 3 crits. So that is going to be...
That's a whole fireball right to
her
fish.
Pretty much, yeah. It's gun fu. Assassin just lighting her up with explosive shots from his gun.
35 points of fire damage.
Oh boy.
And then as a bonus action, I reactivate my Witch Bolt and do another D12 of lightning damage.
Hell yeah.
That's 11 points of lightning damage. As I just look and just say, it doesn't matter what you do, you're just delaying the inevitable. And that ends my turn.
She is looking incredibly hurt at this point. There's a world where she's not on death's door, but in 9 out of 10 universes, she's on death's door.
Gotcha.
Right? Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example where, like, if you only did Witch Bolt and then rolled like shit, she's not on death's door, but pretty close. And as like just so much extra, like this like black ichor serving as blood kind of is like oozing out of all of these scorch marks and like burns on her body as her weird bridesmaid's dress is getting even more stained in viscera. You know that there's a little bit of an assassin mindset that is just hard to get rid of, and so she's that much more difficult to intimidate in a way, especially because she's undead. She's already died once, so it's kind of like similar to the Sandman being like, it's not the worst thing if I die again. It's like kind of whatever. But she is like coughing up blood. She like spits on the ground, looks at you, and she just kind of quietly says, only so that you can kind of hear it, John. She goes, well, even if you win this fight, John, it's just one battle. The war is just beginning.
And I'll kill every single last one of them that stands in my way.
Well, some of them are seated in positions of power, so they're not even standing in your way, are they?
They'll just make corpses in higher places.
All right, you're really good at this, and you have cool things to say, and I can't think of anything fast enough, so fuck you.
Fuck you.
Very different from Belkor fighting the same. Being like, yes, you know, it is what it is.
It was a good fight.
GG's.
I'm mad at
GG's.
I was gonna wipe the floor again. Nope, not even close.
Let me get GG's in the comment section.
GG easy. So not the Sandman. The Black Knight goes, and the Wraith. Black Knight is going to just take an attack on.
Just a little guy.
It's just a little guy.
He is
Can't
a
hurt
little
the little guy.
Yeah.
So dude.
Just a silly little guy who puts fireballs up your butt.
It's just a prank, bro. Chill.
You're on camera, bro.
One of those YouTubers.
No, bro.
Those
Yeah.
awful YouTubers. It's just a prank, bro. God, that
Chill
would piss me
out.
off. Okay. Is going to risk the attack of opportunity. So Tint, have at it.
Whack with my light crossbow, or not light, with my club, which once again is an old microscope, like one of the really heavy ones you had to carry around the neck and the base. Yep. He yanks that out of his belt. Does a 15 hit?
A 15 is exactly what you need.
And all right, he's gonna do his little D4 of damage, and he has 0 to strength. Two points of damage. Just he wields this thing. I imagine like this thing is heavy. Tint is small. He definitely swings it like a baseball bat, and even with hitting, it still like spins him around in a circle with the momentum.
Hell yeah. Amazing. You strike out at the Black Knight as it rushes over towards Belkor and John, but putting a little bit more emphasis on John because it sees that the Banshee who was... You guys all recall that you only saw 3 dug up graves, right? So, not to mention, based on the timing of these paranormal occurrences and John's ice cream shop exploding, the Banshee was probably already raised, was already around, and helped raise the others. So in that sort of like loyalty thing, is going to rush over to the Banshee's defense and is going to make an attack at John. Okay, it is going to hit. Your resting AC.
Gotcha. I'm not going to cast shield.
Okay, solid. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
That's not good. That is a 9.
You're going to take 14 points of necrotic damage as, once again, you're in this larger size, so your shadow is actually, again, I'm flavoring this, so it doesn't change your AC at all. But, like, your shadow is bigger and therefore easier to hit. So he just takes his, like, magical spear, stabs it into your shadow, and starts to drain the life force from it. And by relation, you take 14 necrotic damage, and the fail means that your hit point max is reduced by 14.
Gotcha.
Yikes.
But that's all he can do. Now the crooked cop ghost here was summoned by the Black Knight. Tint just hit the Black Knight. He is going to go for Tint. That is unfortunately going to hit Tint.
Oh man. Didn't even do anything. I'm just walking here.
I need a Constitution saving throw. The ghost doesn't speak because I don't want to RP as a cop. So the ghost is just floating.
That's how you get canceled.
12 on the die. 17 total.
On the con save?
Yeah.
Incredible. That succeeds. Rolled bad. 9 necrotic damage as it claws out at you, and as its claws like rake across you, it almost is as if time slows by in that moment, and in like a Dementor style way, like as his arm like leaves your body, like your own like life essence follows along as it sort of is absorbed into the wraith. Then we move on to Tint and Belkor. So Tint, you're up first.
Okay. So the first thing is Tint's gonna use a bonus action to run the fireball right up the knight's ass. Once again, make a dex save.
What the hell is this? What are you trying to do here?
Can't outrun the hemorrhoids.
Ooh, he does make a save that time finally. Out of like the last 5 deck saves, he makes one. 18 on the dice.
2 points of fire damage. Of fiery butthole. Of Taco Bell style damage.
Oh no, the Diablo sauce. It's got good flavor, but a lot of heat for
Uh,
someone as white as me.
um,
Says the Black Knight. Let me be so clear. Justin doesn't think the Diablo spicy is that spicy. I can't go down in history with people thinking that can't handle spice.
okay, then I'm gonna use Green Flame Blade. So once again, Tint shakes up another test tube. Golem University, please don't take off the campus. Takes out his scalpel. Also, property of Golem University, please don't take off the campus.
Yeah. This college is so good at labeling things, I must say.
They are.
I'm thinking back to the University of Maryland, and I don't think a single pipette said University of Maryland on it.
We'd probably melt off.
Maybe a microscope, but
I mean, the box of pipettes, though, I would label mine because I didn't want people touching them. So annoying when people would steal your pipette tips. Just saying.
we'll talk about college labs in the action surge.
So Tint takes his scalpel, puts it into the test tube, gives it a good shake, takes it out, and stabs at the Black Knight.
Amazing.
Does he's actually very good with a finesse weapon, he's good. Does a 19 hit.
It absolutely does.
Okay. He's going to take 4 points of damage. And then the green fire that is normal attack. Yeah. The blade is flaming green. But that's gonna leap over to the cop.
Amazing.
And is going to take fire damage equal to my spellcasting ability modifier, which is my intelligence. So does he take?
Yeah.
It just all right.
He takes so your melee attack, first of all, you do your normal melee attack.
Yep.
That's the 4, right? That you did?
Yep, that's the 4.
You add a D8 fire to that.
Fire. Oh, okay. 4 points of fire damage.
Nice.
And then
4 points
another
of
D8
fire.
plus my spellcasting ability modifier.
Correct. That's what jumps.
Bops over. 10 points of fire damage to the cop.
Okay. Because he's not as brave or as cool as a firefighter, he doesn't even know to stop, drop, and roll. This dumb cop ghost.
Idiot.
So there's that. And
then Tint just blows the flame out on his scalp.
Oh, that's
rolls it around.
cool.
Back
That's
in the
cool.
belt.
Cuts the belt loop.
Accidentally stabs himself. That'd be Tint.
Amazing, Tint. Belkor, that is your turn. You have diagonally in front of you on either side, you have a ghost cop that looks more intense, maybe a ghost lieutenant over here on one side, and this undead Black Knight who is not bloodied yet, but is very close to being bloodied.
I think I want to take care of the support.
Okay. Because you have been, correct me if I'm wrong though, Belkor, the reason that you have some magic isn't because Belkor is inherently magic or something like that, but isn't it true that Belkor learns his magic from his wife, actually?
Yes. So
From Gwen?
Yep.
Amazing. So because of that connection that I love, let me have for free at the start of your turn, just make an Arcana check as you're looking at this pairing.
Advantage.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
A 10? So what I'll say with a 10 is you don't know the full meaning of it or understand the inner workings. You know that there's a connection between these two.
Mhm.
This is the one that summoned that one.
Correct.
There's something there.
Does he need concentration to keep it here?
Not literally, but there's something related to that. You're getting warmer. But with a 10, I can't divulge that much more.
You're good.
We can do another one at your next turn. But
okay. All right, the Black Knight then. But gosh.
Follow your heart.
If I were to move here, would that be considered flanking or no?
You would be flanking with John. Yeah, I would allow that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So
Yeah. You are
remind
also
me again
being
with-
flanked. But
that's true. Well, I'll just go with my advantage. All right. So remind me again with flanking. I just get advantage on the roll.
that is correct. Just advantage on the attack roll.
Cool. All right. Let's begin. Definitely glad I got an advantage.
Oh boy.
I rolled 2 natural ones.
No way. Oh
All right. Well, that was for the first attack. 18.
no. That will absolutely hit.
Okay, cool. And for the dagger, 23.
23 will hit. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So for the first roll attack, so that's 17 damage. Black Knight.
It was 17 between the two attacks, like you added them together.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, incredible. The Black Knight is now bloodied.
Yes.
As you make one of them goes completely wide as you step in between this ghost and the Black Knight that summoned the ghost. And as you go for your first attack, the ghost just kind of shoves you a little bit. Just throws your balance off. Just a kind of bullshit shove. And you're kind of like, oh, fuck. And you straighten up. Next 2 attacks hit true. No problem. Ton of damage. And anything else, Belkor?
No, that should be it for now.
After Belkor is La Llorona, who's having no luck, as per usual. But she will persevere. She will continue anyway. Nevertheless, she persisted. She's going to make 3 attacks. The first one is a hair attack on Jaster.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Oh, that is going to hit.
Shield.
That is going to miss. Her hair wraps around you and begins to constrict, and you activate your shield and it just buffers it off, and actually like frays her hair to a certain point, and now she has like a weird like kind of in the 80s that like asymmetrical bob kind of thing where like one side of her hair is like cut up to here now because your force field just cut that side of her hair with its energy. And she looks furious at this. Of course, she's, oh my god, what the fuck is it? Your dog is attacking me. You cut my hair. I don't like you.
You might need to go to a salon. It looks kind of singed at the bottom. You're probably going to need to get those roots cut off a little bit.
Yeah. Dead ends. I got dead frayed ends now. This is terrible. God.
Good news is you probably won't have to worry about it for too much longer.
Oh, you're going to fix it?
In a sense.
Amazing. Okay. Thank gosh. She doesn't do a ton of damage with the claw attack, so at least one of them is able to bypass the shield. 8 points of slashing damage.
Ouchie. 2 for growls.
This dog needs a leash. I'm telling you, it's not safe. Is he dog friendly? Is he friendly around other dogs?
Oh yeah, he's great around other dogs, yeah.
It's just me?
Yeah, it's literally just you. You're acting kind of like a bitch right now.
No, that's fair. Goes in for her next.
Yeah.
Back to the top of the round, Jaster. That's your turn.
All right, yeah. I think I'm gonna go all in. I've still got some focus points left, so I'm gonna just go all in, pedal to the metal, so to speak.
Hell yeah.
It's a 19 on the first attack. Not a freaking chance. Still gonna be a 25.
Yeah.
And last one.
Yeah. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, 20s are guarantees.
Yeah.
If you're getting 20s, they're hitting.
That's a 17.
That will hit also.
Okay, cool. Love that. 16 and 15 is 31 damage.
Woof.
Finally connect with all 3 hits.
Woof, indeed.
Yeah.
Jaster, describe to us how you take
Hell
out La Llorona.
So Twofer still just kind of like not necessarily fighting her on the leg, but just kind of like her like pants or whatever. Like, is she wearing pants or a dress? It looks like a dress.
She's wearing a dress, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So just kind of grabbing the hem of her dress there and just holding her in place. And Jaster comes up, does another full side swipe with the staff. This time lets it go again. It bounces off, and then just a kick to the gut and a just full on Street Fighter style uppercut to the jaw. As
amazing. You knock her jaw clean off because she's
Nice.
undead.
Hell
So
yeah.
if her teeth fell out that easily, right?
Mhm.
There's no way her mandible or her main, like, her jaw would be attached in that way.
Right.
And very Street Fighter, like, just hits the ground, bounces a couple times.
KO. Twofer has a little speaker.
Hell yeah. And La Llorona is no more. Incredible job. Wow. Okay. Oh, you still have movement, obviously. Because she's knocked out.
I will come stand here, and I will send Twofer here.
Okay. Cool. Nonetheless, it is the Banshee's turn. Banshee sees that 2 of her colleagues, let's say, certainly not friends, 2 of her colleagues have gone down, and she is just going to, I'm trying to find a rationale. I mean, she helped blow up John's ice cream shop. I don't know if she would change targets at this point. How's John looking?
Close to bloodied.
Close to bloodied? I like the sound of that. She will attack John.
Oh, there you
First attack hits.
I will attempt shield.
First attack misses. Second attack will bypass the shield. So the first attack was a 17 on the dice. Or not on the dice, excuse me. 17 perfectly. With modifications. Goes through your heated shield. She sees that your, like, the intense heat is starting to, like, one of the pickaxe accoutrement on the tip of her sword melts away. And she's like, oh shit. And she redirects and hits with the other side, but does make successful contact on this one. It's going to be 20 damage total. So again, just a straight 10 for concentration stuff.
That's an 8, so the witch bolt goes away.
The witch bolt drops. And with that, John, it is your turn.
All right. I'm going to use my bonus action to use my cloud jaunt, I think it's called. So I turn into a cloud of like chimney smoke. And I teleport 30 feet away.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong measuring stick.
Is this a species ability?
Yes.
Dang. That's freaking cool.
I will teleport to here. And then let's see here.
She tries to counter spell. It doesn't work because it's not a spell.
Gotcha.
Still burns the spell slot.
Oh yeah, no, I it's fine. She's so close to death, dog.
That's fair.
Trust me, I wouldn't have said that if she needed that counter spell. But she does, because she's pissed. She's like, "You're not going anywhere." Counter spell, and it doesn't work. And she's like, "Well, what is that?"
And then the electricity that branches off, that drops like a rope, then begins to turn into flame and then slithers through the grass like a snake, and then begins to circle around itself like an Ouroboros, and then it grows and grows and grows, and then I raise my hand and cast Wall of Fire.
So the goal here feels obvious. The goal here is to hit Black Knight and Banshee, but not two for Jaster, obviously, right?
Yeah, and I can grow it to a radius of 20, so like I can move it pretty far back to be able to do it. It's just hard to move it on this grid to where exactly.
No, for sure. Yeah. Being locked into a 5-foot grid system is can be challenging sometimes with stuff like that. Because the way you drew it, one of those times that you drew it felt good to me. We'll use that. And the flaming sphere, can't imagine takes fire damage. That'd be crazy.
It'd be pretty well.
It can take damage.
I don't even think it can take damage. Yeah, so you're fine. Yeah, that works out great. If it could,
and then
it taking fire damage.
I will heighten the spell, so the flames get even brighter, and they go from red to white to just like almost like this blue flame. As I increase the intensity of it, so they have disadvantage on the saving throw, which will be it's going to be a DC 16 dexterity saving throw, which, yeah.
Okay. Black Knight saves, but Banshee fails.
Gotcha.
Yeah, remember when I said the Banshee 9 out of 10 universes was on death's door? Looks like we're in one of those 9 universes.
So that's going to be 26 points of fire damage, or half if they failed.
John, just describe to us how the Banshee comes to an end. The only thing I'll add is I imagine there's a quick moment of her pulling a little bit of an Anakin Skywalker and just like foaming at the mouth as she is burning, just going, I hate you! I hate you!
Yeah, it's more so because of where the circle was summoned. It kind of just is like splits her in half, kind of. And it's just more so just looking and then just holding the hand out until the flames go brighter and brighter until there's almost like this flash on her end of like when a gnat or a mosquito hits like a net. And just like, and then it just, everything chars.
Insane. Jaster, so close to the fire. This is your first time, like, you just met John like an hour ago, right? Like, just met him. He's new to the crew. Ghost had a lot of positive things to say about him. I think when asked to introduce himself and say what he was good at, John said something along the lines of like target acquisition and elimination, like something really badass.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him, he's grown, he like grew sizes, he's shooting point blank fire incendiary charges, teleports away, creates a circular wall of fire that turns whitish blue, full Azula vibes, and it cuts the Banshee in half this way, and as like you have to almost like shield out the flame. The heat is so intense. You're like an inch away from taking damage. You know what I mean? Like you're that close to the flame, and so is Twofer. But you know, we're talking about Jaster here. Her back half just falls out of the flames beside you, and you're seeing cauterized like brain, like esophagus, like all of her stuff is just cut cleanly, like almost like a surgical laser. Perfectly cross section of her body would look incredible in a bodies exhibit if you're familiar. I went to one in New York. We'll talk about that later. But John, anything else on your insane turn?
Nah, that's it.
Sick.
Just concentrating on that, so if the Black Knight ends his turn next to the wall, he'll take that same amount of damage again at the end of it.
Roger that. let the record show that Justin drew that wall of fire. Daniel would have drawn a perfect circle, I'm sure of it, because there's
Exactly how it looked in my mind.
John is more efficient. But I just, real quick, get that guy on the map. After John is the Black Knight, the Wraith, our last remaining assassin. I think he's smart enough not to stay in the line of fire exactly. So he'll risk another attack of opportunity from Tint.
Tint's gonna stab this time with his scalpel. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit.
Yeah.
Haha! Covered in burns. Not looking great. Jumps in between Belkor and Twofer. I guess we'll go for Belkor in this moment.
It's going to be disadvantage from Twofer.
I was just going to... I knew it was too good to be true. I was like, a flat roll? It couldn't be me. Belkor, that is going to hit. Amazing. And activate your fuck that fedora, activating a incredible pinstripe mafia don shield around you as his spear attack goes for your shadow, and you manage to just like move, you like shadow puppet, like move in such a way that your shadow moves also, and he ends up just stabbing into the ground, being blocked by your shield completely, and that will be a miss. Just gets the one attack because it's gnarly. Now it is the Wraith's turn. Wraith is going to attack Tint.
Why?
Because he's a gross, crooked ghost.
He's evil.
Because he's evil. If he could speak, which again he can't, he would probably say something along the lines of, "You're just a cute little guy. Perfect. Attack." Something like that.
Go after that dog next?
Terrible. He immediately, again, if he could talk, would goes, "Oh, there's a dog? Perfect."
Not on a leash?
Oh, buddy. That is going to hit. I need another con save, my friend.
12.
It's not exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, wait. Can I use my Flash of Genius to add my intelligence modifier to it so it's 16? Or is this just for my... Okay.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Okay, that works.
Tint's quaking in his boots.
8 necrotic damage.
Okay, I'm fine, guys. That's fine.
Okay. After the Black Knight and the Wraith, that is Tint's turn with Belkor on deck.
Alright, so Tint's gonna use this bonus action to ram Ghosty in the butt.
Amazing.
With his flaming sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Deck save, please.
Fails.
Uh-huh. Ooh, 6. 10 points of fire damage.
10 points, heard.
And then he's actually going to drop that so that he can cast Kinetic Jaunt.
Okay.
And he's just gonna shuffle himself out of here. So he's gonna come over here. He's gonna try and hide behind this tree, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, as he just like, again, it's that toothless dancing meme that shuffles away. And he is crying. Just in case anyone wasn't aware, he is crying.
Oh, Roger that. Okay.
He's really trying not to hide. You see him like kind of lift his goggles. He's like, it's fine.
Oh my gosh, like swim goggles when you put them on the wrong way, they like fill it with there's like water in them. Oh, poor Tint.
Poor little guy.
Belkor, it is your turn. You see your brand new fellow gang member, Tint, looking pretty rough, rushing away. Go ahead and give me that Arcana check again for freebies.
3.
A 3? Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It's hard to make a magical assessment in this moment without like using a full action or something.
I feel something, but like my ADHD is going all over the place right now.
Yeah, that's a mood.
All right.
Most
Well,
of us have been there.
going based on what I learned last term, I'm gonna still go for a night. 15.
15 is exactly what you need.
Sorry, that's one. Well, not that one. 18. Dagger.
Yeah,
So,
it's 2 out of the 3.
yeah, one attack with the cleaver. That's 19 damage.
Incredible. Looking pretty freaking rough.
Still can't land that first attack though.
Luckily land the other 2. The Black Knight not looking great.
I'd actually like to use my second wind.
Yeah, for sure. You steel yourself and some of your wounds begin to close a little bit as you heal yourself up.
Looking much better.
Incredible. Jaster and Twofer, that is your guys' turn.
Cool. I'm gonna just wrap around the fire there. Go in for my final set of attacks here.
Heck yeah.
It's my last focus point.
Bring it on. Come on.
There it is. Finally, I've been rolling with advantage this whole fight. There's the nat 20.
There it is.
So it's first attack, second attack,
Finish the fight with a little bow on it.
18 on the die, third attack,
Yeah.
17 on the die.
So a crit and 2 hits.
Yeah.
Amazing. As we approach the driveway of Death's Door, Jaster leaving a nice delivery of a flaming bag of dog shit. Robotic dog shit.
Blasting Fetty Wap on the JBL speaker.
Hell yeah.
That joke's gonna age very well.
It's gonna do great. It's gonna do so good.
14 and 15 is 29 damage.
29 total damage. Up. Add these together as if I'm not positive that it's gonna break the max hit points here. Yeah, Jaster, go ahead.
So this guy is in like full plate mail or whatever. I'm going to a la Soul Calibur take the staff and smack both of his legs so they kind of separate a little bit, and then straight up. Then as he's kind of just sitting there, it's going to be another just 1-2 full uppercut. That's like everything's taller than Jaster, so that's really the only thing that he can do is like get him down to his level and then make them go away.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, you bring this Black Knight down and bring him back to the land of the dead. And as he dies once again, the wraith dissipates. That's what a higher roll would have told Belkor. That was the specifics of that connection that he was feeling. But that brings us out of this first combat as our 4 dead assassins are defeated pretty handedly, although some people took good amounts of damage, some more than others. But some of these
down.
monsters were better at hitting than others. And so as these assassins are dead and you guys are out of combat, no more immediate threats or anything like that, would you guys like to check the bodies for either clues, loot, anything like that?
I want to check the Sandman out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I will also inspect bodies.
And after taking a moment, also, he's not looking too hot. He
inspect
limps
the banshee.
over.
Amazing. Let me have investigation checks from everybody.
That is an 11.
19.
16.
16. Got it.
25.
25. Incredible. Belkor, I mean, you're more than welcome to pick up these sickles, but they don't look like super special in any way. If anything, they almost look like aged.
Like
you might
one
have
touch,
to like,
done.
yeah, you might have to bring it to somebody and do one of those like social media videos where they get like restored.
Just unscrew everything, like throw something to an electrical like vibrator kind of thing.
Exactly. But you know, extra weapons if you're interested. If you decide to go full farm to table and grow your own wheat, maybe a sickle comes in handy. Who knows?
Now you're. I could use that wheat to make more pasta, or as like a binding agent for my frickin' meatloaf. Why do you do this to me?
Because I
It's
also
true
love
garden
food
to
as much as
table.
Belkor.
Oh my. No, it wouldn't be the same meatloaf if I do a new method.
It's just the
Also be worse.
meatloaf your Nona made.
Yeah.
Exactly. John, you're looking around, you're checking for things on the Banshee, and what you're able to find is she has enough of her like I guess like memories or experiences from her living life that there are certain aspects of being a hitman or an assassin. Like she doesn't have a cell phone on her. She doesn't have like personal identification or anything of that nature, right? However, you do find hidden on her person, like in one of her shoes, there's like a secret, not a pocket, but like just a very thin little extra thing that you could like slide something into, you know? And you find a key slid into that thing in her shoe, and attached to the key is a little like paper tag that has like a couple of numbers on it. The numbers don't necessarily mean anything to you. It seems like a sort of random 4 or 5 digits. Can't make heads or tails of the numbers specifically, but it looks pretty official. I mean, it looks like the tag is just denoting to like maybe like which locker it opens or something like that, you know? But you find that, you think that's important. If she was willing to keep it on her person, even during quote unquote work hours, that means something.
Gotcha. I bring that over to show everyone else.
Amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think Jester, as soon as you
Definitely
see
gonna
it,
look at it, yeah.
yeah,
I
as
love
soon
keys.
as you see it, no roll required because you've done such specific stuff in season 1 that would allude to this very moment. So no roll required. You instantly recognize it as a key to a security deposit or safety deposit box at the Phoenix Bank.
Nice. Oh yeah, I know where this goes.
Then we had Tint with a 19. Tint, you're checking out some of the bodies and stuff like that, looking for anything cool. Most of them don't have a ton on them in terms of loot, but what is it like for Tint when he gets, let's use the phrase, alchemically inspired? Not that you're using chemicals to get inspired, but that chemicals are inspiring you.
I think Tints like definitely lets his nose do the work. He's like sniffing through this almost like him and Tooper. Like anything he finds that might be on these bodies or coming from these bodies, like he smells it right away.
Mm-hmm.
He is just like trying to figure out like if something kind of catches his nose.
Yeah. I'm going to say you are able to, across multiple of the bodies, like especially the Black Knight, but also the Banshee, mainly those two, you're able to essentially harvest some supernatural materials. So they don't have any like normal loot on them, like gold or like weapons or anything too crazy. Most of it like vanished when they died. It was like so magical that it was part of them. But you are able to find, because you got a 19, right?
Mhm.
You said? Okay, cool. So let's say 2, like I guess, being an alchemist has like
Pulse.
hundreds of vials.
Once again, all of them. Golem University, please don't
Yeah.
take off the campus.
Every
Yep.
single one.
Every single one.
You get 2 vials of ectoplasm.
Mhm.
So like ghost material, essentially. And then from the Black Knight in particular, because the ectoplasm is from the Banshee, but from the Black Knight, all that shadow stuff, you're able to get 5 vials of wisps of shadow. So you are like capturing shadow as if it is smoke almost,
Mhm.
and bottling them
Upside
up.
down.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. That makes a ton more sense. Jester, you're checking around. You think the bodies are kind of done. They've been searched. But you're looking at the grander scene here. You already know that there are these black dahlia flower petals.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they're lined out, it's giving ritual, it's giving magic, it's giving coven. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, that's obviously something. But there's no way that the ritual this powerful that can bring 3 assassins back to life would only need 1 ingredient. That just isn't how magic works. Being around Euland and Belkor, both of which who can do magic, meeting Trinculo and maybe in the last 6 months doing a job or 2 for them, you've seen magic up close and personal. Even if, I mean, obviously you have the artificer side of things.
Yeah, it's more
does
mechanical,
magic,
though.
but it's
yeah.
I know, yeah. So you have enough familiarity though to know there's got to be something else going on here. You actually,
Super scan mode.
hell yeah. As the barcode scanning commences, scanning over the 4 bodies, comes up inconclusive for 3 out of the 4. Nothing abnormal, nothing crazy stands out. When I mean inconclusive, I mean like nothing crazy.
Right.
Just like normal stuff. They've got blood on them, they've got ectoplasm, they've got like weird stuff, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Ew, gross.
However, the Banshee pings.
Okay.
And we'll say that there's a moment where you can like get a closer look. You like connect with Twofer in some way where you can sort of communicate, and Twofer lets you know that there's something with her shoes. At first, like you see John go over and like look inside one of her shoes and finds this key. But it's not that. He's Twofer still, hound dog at the shoes. Taking a look at it, you see that in the tread of the shoes, it's like caked with dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But upon closer examine, because you got what, like a 23 or something?
25.
Pretty high. Yeah, pretty freaking high. It isn't graveyard dirt. There's something different. The dirt that's caked in her shoes didn't come from here. It came from wherever the Banshee was, like earlier today. You know what I mean? Like if I walk around in a place covered in clay and then I go commit a crime somewhere, they can use my shoes and footprints and all that kind of analysis, soil analysis and stuff. You're kind of doing a soft version of soil analysis here, and you're like, she brought something here unintentionally. Like it might not even have been part of maybe it was part of the ritual, but like it could have just been a fuck up on her part.
Mm-hmm.
And you sense, because 25 is freaking high, there is mixed into the dirt itself is traces of fertilizer.
Okay.
And so as you guys gather all of these clues, figuring out what your next moves are, it is still incredibly late. It's like 1 a.m. almost. Everyone is tired. Some people are exhausted. There's all different kinds of effects going on that require a long rest. Tint has tons of work to potentially do with all this new alchemical equipment. And we are surrounded by 4 crazy dead bodies in the middle of a graveyard that is now covered in ichor and blood and has massive scorch marks. And this place is riddled with potential evidence that could get back to you all.
But we gotta like rebury all these guys.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe they'll come back to life again if you do that. But we'll save that for next time, because
We'll
that's
kill 'em
all
again!
for this episode of Sphinx City Season 2. Let's go around and do one more little outros. Alphabetical, of course. And then we'll get the heck out of here, and we'll see you all next week.
Hi, I'm Dale. I played Belkor, the Butcher Ironbelly, and you now know why they called me the Butcher. This battle. Oof, like I'm like having advantage, like Daniel said earlier, as a fighter, as a champion fighter. Like I'm so used to playing like your like rangers, and I think I played a bard a couple times, but this is like the first time I really felt like I'm actually doing some decent damage.
Understatement.
Yeah, I was gonna say understatement on the decent part, but still, always a blast playing as Belkor and playing with y'all.
Heck yeah.
Likewise, and I'm Daniel, also known as Daniel the DM, across all corners of the internet. And yeah, it was a really, really fun episode. And now you get to see why they called John the Painter, because he paints in red.
Dun, dun,
I don't know how long to give that like dramatic pause before I go in. Justin, if you gotta edit in more of a dramatic pause, do that.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm Malia Deza. You can find me on the internet as Malia Deza. And today, Tim did not have a great time. He's at 3 HP. He was struggling there. He's glad to have survived. But I'm glad. That was fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I'm Taylor. You can find me working with Justin on the So You Want to Be a DM podcast. Also, check us out on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM. We got merch. Check it out. All that stuff. Jaster's doing not so bad, honestly. he's out of a lot of resources, but is still standing. And I'm ready to delve into this next piece of the mystery.
Dun, dun, dun. Incredible. Well, I've been Justin, and I will remain to be Justin. See you all next week.